Welcome to Gut Check Radio. I'm Nick Belden, a chiropractic physician and functional medicine practitioner. The information provided in this podcast is for educational entertainment purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, cure, or treat any disease, and do not apply any of the information you hear without first speaking with your physician. I love to contrast these two images here. On the top left, we have a picture of a group of about 4 or 5 people in a CrossFit gym, and it looks like they're all participating in a CrossFit workout. There's kettlebells, there's a rig, they're on a matted floor. You could tell they're probably in the midst of a Metcon. They're probably holding some sort of isometric for time in a push-up position, right? It's hard. It's probably breathing rate is really high, respiratory rate is high, lots of stress. And then the picture on the bottom right you'll see is a group of people at a yoga studio. I believe my vernacular around the yoga terminology, but they are in a lunge position with their arms above their head, which is a very, very sort of calming and restorative position in yoga, sort of opening up the whole chain, and which you could say is an analogy, sort of opening yourself up to, bigger things that could be out there. But it's very energy increasing. So the image on the top left of we'll call it the high intensity training class is very energy taking, and the image on the bottom right is very energy inducing. So what I tell my patients sometimes, especially those dealing with thyroid-related symptoms, is you need to treat your workout like a work-in more so than a workout. What do I mean by that? Like I said in that prior slide or a little bit ago about finding the right dose and intensity for you, is if you gain more energy from doing your exercise bout, that was the right dose, it was the right type, and it was the right intensity for you. That's a work-in. You gained energy. Versus a workout where energy literally leaves your system, it leaves your spirit, it leaves your body, it leaves your mind. That's a workout. And there's a time and place for that. But I think what happens, especially in our Western society, is we get so focused on the workout aspect and we completely neglect the idea of working in. And society rewards you for that. You maybe you are the person who starts changing your body composition, start putting on muscle, but you feel really fatigued and your sleep starts to suck. But you look leaner and people tell you, "Oh my gosh, you look so good." But inside you're thinking, I wish you knew what it felt like on the inside, right? And so that's a sign that the workouts have started to be destructive for your physiology. Vice versa, though, there are some people, and I'm sure we all know them, the textbook quote unquote yogis. I don't love derogatory terms, but I think we all sort of can envision the image of this person in our head is the person who can touch their toes basically from sitting or standing in any position, and they have such great range of motion. They can bend their elbow back behind the rest of their body. They can bring their finger back to their arm. All these things, and there's conditions such as Ehlers-Danlos where actually your connective tissue is too lax, and that is part of why you can move your joints in particular ranges of motion. And they get addicted to that. And they love the feeling of yoga just as much as the person who does high intensity training loves the feeling of the high intensity exercise training. So really what you have here is a very self-fulfilling prophecy that the people who love to do high intensity group fitness classes are going to keep doing high intensity group fitness classes. And if you out there are a huge yoga fan, you're probably going to keep doing yoga as your primary form of exercise. And from my experience, I haven't worked with that many people, and I've been hard pressed to find people who do a little bit of everything, who understand this nuance of work in and work out and when on which day they might need one. That brings me to my second main point here. So the first one was how you feel after the workout dictates the dose, frequency, and intensity that you might need. Is even if you're hearing that question wondering, I don't even know where to go from there, or that's cool, I feel like I know that, like what else can I use? You likely need to do more of what you're not doing to see dramatic changes in your thyroid function when it comes to exercise. And I was just alluding to this. I just sort of set the stage. If you're someone who does group fitness, high intensity classes as your main form of exercise, you're probably most likely to benefit from the exercise you're least doing, such as yoga. Versus if you're the person who does yoga 5 or 6 days a week, and that's been your thing, you're the yogi in your friend group, you know what you probably need? You probably need a dose of intensity because your body, your physiology has adapted to this state of doing yoga and the different ranges of motion and the different breathing patterns associated with it, which is great. But I think it's sometimes very crucial to challenge the system, to force the system, our body, to adapt to something else. Especially, if you're listening to this or watching this and you're dealing with thyroid symptoms, that's a sign that the internal state of your body needs to change, or there needs to be a different input in order to get the desired output. If you want more energy, if you want to start building muscle, better sleep, less brain fog, better digestion, you need to start giving your system a different input. And if you're the person who always does XYZ exercises, if you're always a runner Maybe you need to start doing strength training versus, and this is sort of therapy for myself, if you're the person who always strength trains and you're met with a level of symptoms, you need to change some form of it. Maybe you need to do some stretches of more low intensity walking or more low intensity endurance exercise. I would say the biggest thing I see is people that are addicted to high intensity exercise just need to do some form of low intensity exercise. That doesn't have to be yoga, but some sort of walking, stretching, mobility. But there's even ways that you can continue to take part in the type of fitness that you love, be with community, be with your friends, but still have it be a work in versus just a workout. And this is the hardest, might be one of the hardest things to help coach people through, because we as humans, we like what we like and we don't like what we don't like. And so we tend to fall prey to this, doing the same things that we like, and which tend to be the things that we're good at. And there is merit to, making your strengths bigger strengths. But in certain situations, there's merit in addressing your weaknesses that will ultimately help your bigger strength. So again, we're talking thyroid function, and you're always someone who does group fitness high intensity, but you have no range of motion and it hurts to get up off the couch, and you feel like you're having just energy cravings throughout the day and you're dependent on that exercise to fulfill your energy needs. That's a sign you might need to dial it back a little bit. That's a sign the stress response might be there. Versus, like I said, the person who does yoga 5 or 6 days a week, if they're feeling like their muscle just doesn't look as firm, their strength is sort of diminishing, then maybe that's a sign. And this isn't me diminishing yoga. There's definitely ways to gain strength doing it. But maybe for them, that's a sign that they need to alter their exercise modality and pick up a barbell and do some resistance exercise.